had in his time in Blacksburg. They got beat up 62-0 over the final 2 quarters of the Vandy game into the first 2 quarters of the Old Dominion game. 62-0. And that moment, as the Boo Birds were raining down, as they were running into the locker room, that moment decided the fate of Brent Pry. Phil Montgomery was announced as the interim head coach now. President Tim Sands said in a statement, quote, "Unfortunately, the results on the field were not acceptable, and a change in leadership is necessary. We will continue to fully support our team and student athletes for the remaining games as we strive together to significantly improve the trajectory of our football program this season." But here's the thing. Looking at the remaining schedule for the Hokies, there is not a lot of opportunity for them to improve. There's really 2 winnable games left on the schedule. It's Wake and Cal, both of those games inside Lane Stadium. But as we've seen, Lane Stadium is nowhere near the fortress it used to be. And other than that, this could end up being one of the ugliest seasons in the history of Virginia Tech football. Of course, you also have the Wofford game this next weekend. You better win the FCS game. Of the FBS games remaining, you really only have Wake and Cal. So there's a strong likelihood that Virginia Tech finishes this season with just 3 wins, just 2 against FBS opponents. And this meltdown now comes at the worst possible time. It's right as Whit Babcock, the athletic director, has asked to raise their athletic budget from $144 million to $200 million. It's right as the whole landscape of college football is changing. It's right as the ACC revenue sharing is awarded based on on-field performance. It all happens right as Virginia Tech has now hit its lowest point in the last 133 years. They played football for the first time in 1892, and I would go out on a limb and argue that this is the lowest moment in Virginia Tech football history since 1892. But there is a bright side, and I always like to try and find a bright side. Tech seems to understand the importance of where it finds itself right now. In the statement from President Sands, at the very bottom, the final little paragraph down there, he said that 2 Board of Visitors are going to get together, 2 Board of Visitor members. They're going to work with Whit Babcock to, quote, "develop a financial, organizational, and leadership plan that will rapidly position the Virginia Tech football program to be competitive with the best in the ACC. The new framework for college sports will be fully established for next season. So this is the time to make a major move." Now, I would argue the time to have made a major move was after last season when Brent Pry fell on his face having 21 of his 22 starters return. Allen's been adamant about that as well. You know, the next best time to make a major move, I guess, is now, but the framework is going to be set into place, and Virginia Tech has to make some major moves right here, right now, if they want to become or stay relevant in the Power Four, in the ACC, because right now they aren't relevant. Right now, they're one of the cheapest schools. They have one of the smallest athletic budgets. Brent Pry was not paid a lot of money, was paid $4 million a year, which is one of the lowest coaching salaries in the Atlantic Coast Conference. And now with the next step, Tech, UCLA both actually taking this next step together after the Bruins fired their head man. They're looking for the next head coach. And not to be hyperbolic here, but just like how this is the worst moment in Virginia Tech football history since 1892, right? This is the most important decision in Virginia Tech football history. And I see some people floating the idea of Michael Vick. Stop that right now. I've been saying it completely tongue-in-cheek. I didn't realize people actually thought that. You cannot go out and get Michael Vick. He's gone through 3 games at Norfolk State. He lost at home to Towson. He barely beat Virginia State. And then he just got blown out by 50 points against Rutgers. Now, no one necessarily expected him to be a world beater in his first 3 games ever as a head coach, but you can't take a chance now if you're Virginia Tech. You can't go out and you can't get Michael Vick. This has to be calculated. You have to know how it's going to play out. It needs to be a coach with head coaching experience who's had head coaching success. And there are great choices like that right now. You could look at USF's Alex Golish. I mean, what he has done rebuilding that program in the last 2 seasons, a very good job. You could look very close to where you are now in JMU's Bob Chesney. He's had success everywhere he's gone, and if he has a 10-win season this year, he's probably a name at the top of the list for the Hokies. I would even give G.J. Kinney at Texas State a call. Now, he doesn't put up these amazing records year in and year out, but he took over a Texas State program that was in the dumpsters. I mean, it was a dumpster fire, and he has turned them into one of the best Sun Belt teams in the West. You could even go out and give some calls to former head coaches, like the Duke route when they hired Manny Diaz. Maybe you go, I don't know, Al Golden, and you talk to him. But either way, it's huge that Tech has announced that they're planning to develop financial, organizational, and a leadership plan that's going to position them to be competitive with the best in the ACC. I mentioned it earlier. Prize salary was right around $4 million, which was of the public institutions in the ACC that have the coaches' salaries publicly available. He ranked 11th out of 13 coaches at $4 million. You've got to up that quite a lot, because if you want a coach that's a good coach and you got to pry him away from somewhere, you've got to give him a lot of money. To pry Cignetti away, just a recent example, to get Kurt Cignetti away from JMU, JMU was willing to offer him $1 million a year. Indiana inked him to a $5 million deal and immediately got him to extend, which I think brings him up to around $7 million, something around there. But along with that, they gave him over $10 million for an assistant coach's salary pool. And according to a lot of reports, it was a massive war chest for NIL that allowed him to hit the ground running and go with the Hoosiers. And look what he did. He turned them into a college football playoff team in year one. Virginia Tech needs to be prepared to do something very similar if they want to resurrect their program the way Indiana did, if they want to resurrect their program, because at this point, UVA has passed them. JMU, ODU, Liberty, all right on their heels, threatening to pass them soon. Virginia Tech, in an instant, could go from the flagship program in the Commonwealth to the fourth or fifth flagship program in the Commonwealth. And look, now we get to sit back, Alan. We get to enjoy a good old-fashioned coaching search, and we get to watch planes come in and out of Blacksburg Airport and figure out who's going to be their next head coach. This is when it gets fun. I love a good coaching search season,
I guess.
Although we probably won't see it get underway until the end of the season, because all their targets are still currently coaching.
It's unfortunate though that they didn't get out early, right? I feel like
last season you were adamant.
No, I just feel like that just made sense. Like, you've wasted so much time. You've wasted your fans' time. You've wasted your time. You wasted Brent Pry's time. Your players' time. It's just the turnover and transition nowadays is just so tough, man. Because once you lose kids, especially if you're not an established program, it's going to be an uphill battle where you could have started that at least a year earlier and got some momentum. Because there was ODU was a winnable game for Virginia Tech.
They should have won that game.
Vandy is a winnable game for Virginia Tech.
You had a halftime lead.
Yeah, you're supposed to be either better or at least on par to sneak out some wins against those guys. Heck, even South Carolina honestly was a winnable game. Their defense played really well. The offense let them down.
Where'd that defense go?
I will tell you, my spider senses says that the team just quit on them. Like, the message isn't there anymore. Like, you go from stopping Sellers and that South Carolina offense in the manner that you did, or you have that kind of performance on the defensive side. My understanding is Brent Pry's a defensive guy, right? So like, that's his sound, that's his voice. I'm pretty sure he's hands-on with that unit. That unit quit on him before the offense did, actually. Yeah,
I hate throwing around the Q word, right? But
it's in the effort though. Look at it.
It felt like they quit in the second half when it started to snowball on them against Vanderbilt, and they just did not show up for the Old Dominion
If I
game.
may, there was one point in that game versus ODU. They were down by at least 3 scores, and they scored a touchdown. The guys are celebrating and talking trash to ODU. Like, I mean, this is the coach in me coming out, but
Look at the scoreboard.
WTF, right?
You were down 28-0.
That is
congrats. It took you 30 minutes of game time, over 30 minutes of game time to score a touchdown. I'm going to need you to lock in. I'm going to need you to run back to the sideline, hand the ball to the ref, and we're not talking because we still got a lot of work to do.
Like, where's your focus, right?
Yeah.
And to me, that's a reflection of the team or on the coach. The same with Alabama. Like, when Alabama loses, the fact that they don't have any fight in them is a reflection of DeBoer.
Yeah.
The fact that Virginia Tech just could not get right is a reflection of Brent Pry. I'm not putting anything on the kids or anything like that. And I think that the Hokies need to make this search thorough, and they need to make the right hire, and they need to get it. Like, they have to get it right.
If you mess this one up, like,
You're two cycles through. Like what?
You're too deep into the process now to mess this higher up.
Yeah,
like you can't be cheap either. Like, so of course, a lot of Virginia Tech fans, I understand it, but it's not going to happen. Are linking, I want Shane Beamer.
Yeah, Shane's
not coming. Brent Pry was making $4 million this year. You know what Shane Beamer's salary is? Over $8 million.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show that Virginia Tech's going to have to open up their pocketbook. You just spent $6 million to get him out of there. Now you're going to have to open up the pocketbook again and probably offer $5+ million to whatever this next coach is, whether it's the up-and-coming Alex Golesh, who has 2 years as head coaching experience in the American after being Tennessee's offensive coordinator. Maybe you go out and you kick the tires on a former coach. Dan Mullen's a name I've been seeing thrown around a little bit. Probably not. He's failed at UNLV, but maybe you go like a route like that. If I'm Virginia Tech, I'm going after a coach who has had tremendous success at a lower level, whether it's G5, FCS, who I trust can take that next step into the P4. I think you've got an option right over 81 with Bob Chesney. If you're not giving him a call and vetting him very seriously, I think that's a mistake. I think a G.J. Kinney is a guy I really like from Texas State. I think he's a good option. They've got some options, and they've got to nail this hire.
Yeah, well, real quick, Dan Mullen's doing fine in UNLV. Just FYI, they're 3-0. He's got the offense rolling. That's what he's there for.
But didn't he almost lose to Idaho State?
Yeah, but they will take almost lost to ODU instead of a loss. I'm sure
that's true. That's valid, but that's the lasting thing. If you almost lose to an FCS team, that is the lasting thing in my brain.
Yeah, I gotta say that I was thinking when you were kind of talking, we were talking about the landscape of college football right now in the state. Even though it seems far-fetched, there was some validation to what Matt was saying last Friday when he was saying that Tech needs to get it going now, because in today's class, like so in the class of 2025, 2026, 2027, Virginia Tech's looked at as losers, right?
Yeah.
So like nobody wants to go there. The program doesn't stand for anything to them. Like you got the old people like me that's like, well, back in the day, they had Vic, they had this, they had that. Yeah, these kids don't know that. They just know what you have now. And I would say the way this season's playing out, UVA's gaining ground and Virginia Tech's losing ground.
I'd say UVA's already passed them.
Yeah, so that perception is bad.
With the NIL money UVA has, with their success to start the season, like the trajectory's all up for UVA. For Virginia Tech, you never hear a peep out of big donations for their NIL. You never hear anything like that. I think UVA has surpassed Virginia Tech at this point.
You need a program fixer and somebody that's stable, right? So you need somebody that doesn't have a history of a lot of staffing changes and issues like that. Somebody that has some good idea of how to manage the game. Because at the end of the day, I think the talent will come to Tech that's good enough to win some games. It might not be the 10, 11, 12 season wins. It might be along the 7 to 8. But when you do that, you get into bowl games, you win the bowl games, it'll eventually get better. Like they're going to have to take their time and rebuild this thing back. But I'm looking at this thing right now, like a Brent Key. Like if you can get somebody like that to come to your program, bring some stability.
Yeah, Brent Key would be a great hire. Now
he just brings stability. Like
he's a good coach. Look what he did with Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
They just beat Clemson this last weekend.
And a lot of that was stability, right?
Like you've got to find a coach like that. Brent Key is also one of the very few. There's 2 ACC coaches publicly available that makes less money than Brent Pry did. So you could maybe offer him $6 million, $5 million, and maybe that's a way to pry him away from Georgia Tech. Although Tech would then have a counter offer to Tech's
they've got
offer.
Money. They just don't use it on athletics.
So Brent Key would be an awesome hire. It would take a lot to pry him away.
I would try to get to somebody like that before his alma mater or his coaching alma mater calls, because I have him pegged as the next coach for Alabama, honestly, if they get rid of DeBoer at some point. Yeah. Absolutely not this year, but within the near future, he would probably be the top option because he's got a lot of Saban to him, and that's what people want.
Yeah.
But he's a stabilizer.
I think, like, I kind of said Dan Mullen is a name that I have seen float around. You kind of gave a face. He is 3-0 at UNLV, but he was such a good recruiter at Mississippi State, and like he consistently had top recruiting classes.
And he hates that part of the job, right?
And he's very good at it.
I know, it's crazy. He doesn't want to do it.
But he does it, and he wins recruiting battles. I really like GJ Kinney as the option because like what he did at Texas State to build that program back, I think that's a guy you can pry away. He makes less than $1 million at Texas State. He's not a full like Spencer Danielson at Boise. You don't get him because Spencer Danielson is a coaching guy at Boise. He came up through the ranks in Boise. He's only on the West Coast. He doesn't have recruiting connections here on the East. But GJ Kinney's a guy that's kind of been in that southern region a little bit longer, and I think he could understand what it would take to rebuild Virginia Tech. GJ Kinney right now, just off a gut, is my number one choice for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, my priority would be that the person I'm bringing in knows not just Tech, but knows like Virginia, North Carolina. Like he understands how to speak to people in this area, basically.
Which is why I think Bob Chesney, if Bob Chesney wins 10, 11 games this year or more,
I wouldn't take Coach Chesney.
I'm just saying he's going to be called.
I think you want them to take Coach Chesney, but I wouldn't take Coach Chesney.
Yeah, maybe. All right, we'll keep talking Virginia Tech and so much more. But first, let's update you with what you may have missed in the wide world of sports.
This is your Fitz The Bill morning update. Getting you caught up on some of the biggest stories in sports.
All right, so Jay Glazer is now reporting that Jaden Daniels did in fact get an MRI following the Commanders' Thursday night loss. However, it seems the injury is not severe, and Glazer reported that Daniels is day-to-day. Following the Cowboys' win yesterday in overtime, Dallas signed a free agent pass rusher, Jadeveon Clowney, to add some depth to their defensive front. The Cardinals won on Sunday over the Panthers, but it made it very hard on themselves. Arizona led at one point 27-3. However, the final score was 27-22 as the Panthers pulled off a furious comeback that just fell short. Murray said following the game, "We could be 0-2, but we're 2-0 with issues. I don't want to make it a thing, but at the same time, we got to be better." For the Bengals, they get the win to move to 2-0 for the first time since 2018, but they lost Joe Burrow. Burrow suffered a severe turf toe injury that will likely require surgery. Initial reports are that Burrow could be out at least 3 months. The Bengals are getting another opinion from one of the top foot doctors in the nation, Dr. Robert Anderson. Other injuries from around week 2, Aaron Jones suffered a hamstring injury last night and did not return. Vikings will assess the severity today. Justin Fields left the Jets' 30-10 loss early with a concussion. Fields is now in the concussion protocol and is questionable for this next weekend. Alex Highsmith of the Steelers suffered a high ankle sprain in Pittsburgh's loss to Seattle. Over in MLB, Cal Raleigh tied Mickey Mantle's season record for most home runs by a switch hitter. Mariners extended their winning streak to 9, and they blew out the Angels 11-2. They are now in sole possession of first place in the AL West. Other scores around the league, the Nationals won 4-3 over the Pirates. The Royals down the Phillies 10-3. The Braves beat the Astros 8-3. And the Mets won 5-2 in 10 innings over the Texas Rangers. And in minor league baseball, the Flying Squirrels fell 5-2 in the Diamonds' final game to the Hartford Yard Goats. However, for the 4th consecutive season, the Flying Squirrels are the AA attendance champions in both average attendance and total attendance. All right, that's what you may have missed in the wide world of sports. Today's show, no guest, just your calls. We want to hear from you. And of course, it's Overreaction Monday, so the text line is open. 804-327-0888. Come on in and drop your week 2 NFL overreactions. We'll be breaking them all down at 9:30 a.m., so set your alarms now. You do not want to miss our overreactions. And looking ahead at the week, we've got David Cunningham coming on tomorrow from Tech Sideline at 9:30 to break down what's happening in Blacksburg. And Lake Lewis will be in studio tomorrow as well to chat Commanders and give us the latest information surrounding Jaden Daniels. So we've got a loaded week. Talk of the week ahead of us. We cannot wait. And let's start it off with going to the phone lines with Bruce on line one. Good morning, Bruce. How we doing?
Good morning, Fitz. Good morning, Alan. A name that we've not called in reference to the head coach at Virginia Tech. I thought they missed out on him when he was at Jackson State and he went to Colorado. I'm surprised there's not more clamor, and I get what he's being paid at Colorado around the name Deion Sanders. And let me give you some of my points on this though, because I just didn't say it, off the cuff. You have Deion Sanders, who has ties to the Sun Belt area. Furthermore, players in the 757, we talk about this, in the 804, in the 540, in the 703, in the 571, all those zip codes, instantly would clamor to Deion Sanders. So I heard the talk about we need a coach, but you also need athletes. And if you're going to get the best of athletes, you go and get a coach who can attract that. Secondly, with Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders, I've made comment about you need a Frank Beamer type. Deion Sanders is old school. Deion Sanders took Brent Michael to Virginia Tech as an offensive coordinator or as a quarterback coach. You got to put the money out there. But I'm going to tell you guys, to not have the name Deion Sanders in this conversation where he can get back into the Sun Belt area, we're missing the boat. And so don't be surprised.
I don't think we're missing the boat, Bruce. I don't think there's a chance in anywhere that he's coming here. He's making $10 million a year at Colorado. There is no way that he's coming over here. If he joined the ACC and he was paid his $10 million salary that Colorado's paying him, he would become immediately the second highest paid coach in the ACC. And you're probably going to have to pay him. You're going to have to probably pay him more than $10 million because by 2029 it's up to $12 million. So we're probably getting in the door at $15 million to prime away from Colorado. There ain't no way that Virginia Tech is paying that. He'd quickly become the highest paid coach in the ACC in front of Dabo, who makes like $12 million a year. It's not that we're ignoring Deion. It's just that is a pipe dream that will never happen. And I think he's happy in Colorado. And there is no way Virginia Tech would ever be able to fork over that much money. Any ACC school can fork over that much money to bring on Deion Sanders, who hasn't necessarily been the model of greatness as a head coach at the Power Force level. He's having kind of a rough start to 2025 and can't figure out his quarterback situation.
Those are valid points. We'll see how this thing plays out, man, because I heard you and Ali's take on this, man, but Blacksburg, as you clearly articulated, Blacksburg is in some trouble, man. And that fan base, especially did not anticipate being down 28-0 to ODU. And so, and I think that could be some moves also on the AD side. I think people are fed up, man, from, the time that we've been up there. People are fed up. Last year was a loss. So I know we're going after 3 games today, but last year that was talent in Blacksburg.
Yeah.
And to lose all of that, is just uncalled. I did have some overreactions, but I'll leave you with just one. What in the, as Robin would say to Batman, what in the world of distance, Batman, do we see with field goals? I mean, these guys are kicking 7-yard field goals.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It is crazy. It's a game changer. Bruce, thank you so much for calling in. Have a great rest of your Monday. Field goal kicker distance is a cheat code. Brandon Aubrey with the Cowboys, an absolute cheat code for him. All right, let's go back out to the phone lines. Line 2, we've got Caesar on this Monday morning. Good morning, Caesar. How are we doing?
Good morning, guys. How you doing? It's the first time I get to call you with
now that you switched to morning and all that, I want to say, this weekend's been crazy, and yes, I did not predict or see 28 to nothing at halftime for Virginia Tech. Sorry, ODU. But I call it because college football is interesting right now. You got Clemson lost 2 games, Notre Dame lost 2 games, Tennessee's not too bad. But how do you see Notre Dame and Clemson? I see Clemson can crawl their way back in. Notre Dame has a hard climb. They ain't really got anybody that's ranked in their schedule left, and they're in no conference.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I think Clemson, that opening loss in the ACC is tough. But, the winner of the ACC is probably going to be a 1-2 loss type of team. So Clemson's still very much in it to win the ACC. For Notre Dame, I think their season's over. Like, for Notre Dame, you're 0-2 now. You've already had one bye week, so you're going to have to go a long way from here on out without a bye week. And you're going to need a lot of just craziness to happen at the top of the AP Top 25 because you don't have a conference to win. You've got to win out from here and hope that a couple other teams stumble because Notre Dame, they've got a uphill battle. I don't see Notre Dame being a college football playoff team this year. Plus, they just losing 2 games is a hard thing to overcome. They've probably got another loss in there as well, and I can guarantee you that a 3-loss Notre Dame is not making the college football playoff. Caesar, thank you so much for calling in. Have a great rest of your Monday. I appreciate you calling in. Great to talk to you for the first time here on the morning. Really appreciate you calling in. All right, let's get to our first break of this Monday morning. First break of the week. We'll step aside. We'll be back. We'll chat a little bit of that Giants Cowboys epic NFC East game. Who knew that those two QBs would have combined for over 700 yards of passing? That's coming up on the other side of this break. 1061 ESPN Richmond.
Traffic reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. Brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. A premier linen store. Online at HermanAllenPlumbing.com. Looking for the perfect golf course? Check out RBA's best kept secret, Greenfield Golf Club. Just a few minutes past Mechanicsville. Reserve your tee time today at GreenfieldGolf.com. It's go time. Pulling the food on game day? Looky move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you crave. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor. Fluffy, fresh-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixings to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. You're the MVP this season. Let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's Bo time.
A Progressive Home and Auto Bundle can protect you round the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sports.
Let's totally do that call.
Well, I'm sure he'll make the right call next time.
It's too late. It cost us the game.
Well, it's just one game.
That loss eliminated us from the playoffs.
Oh, the playoffs are on so late. No, you'll be well rested.
Okay, I need you to stop talking to me.
Well, at least your home and auto are protected with a bundle from Progressive. Risk category insurance can be applied to other insurers, not available in most states or situations.
The John Deere Gator XUV lets you truck, pack, ride, now, all stack, full, load, tow, spray, and haul, all in a single day. Because with the highest cargo box volume in its class, customizable features, and a towing capacity of up to 4,000 pounds, it gets the job done. You just have to get in the seat. Learn more at your John Deere dealer or visit johndeere.com/GatorXUV.
Are you suffering from a sports injury, chronic pain, or something that just plain hurts? Ortho Virginia can help keep you on the road to recovery. As the state's largest provider of orthopedic care, Ortho Virginia's team of specialists offers surgical and non-surgical treatment options. With 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area, visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why at Ortho Virginia, stronger starts here.
A Progressive Home and Auto Bundle can protect you round the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sports.
Let's totally do that call.
Oh, I'm sure he'll make the right call next time.
It's too late. It cost us the game.
Well, it's just a game.
That loss eliminated us from the playoffs.
The playoffs are on so late. No, you'll be well rested.
Okay, I need you to stop talking now.
Well, at least your home and auto are protected with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in most states or situations.
The John Deere Gator SUV with cut, pack, ride, 12 stack, full road tow, spray, and haul, all in a single day. With the highest cargo box volume in its class, customizable features, and a towing capacity of up to 4,000 pounds. It gets the job done. You just have to get in the seat. Learn more at your John Deere dealer or visit johndeere.com/GatorXUV.
106.9 ESPN traffic.
For those of you heading east on 64, we are seeing some delays in the look at Providence towards some road. We are from back to the north on 95, and then also from Des Moines Street, between the 64 merge and the Bowling Street overhead. There's a congestion heading right on 35 between the North Road and the people west side.
ESPN. Border to border. At Joseph's. Statewide sports debate. Unfiltered takes and the no-nonsense analysis. Tune in later and enjoy the conversation.
Welcome back in. Fitz The Bill. Alan, would you have expected us to see Russell Wilson turn back the clock and throw for 450 yards in a loss?
I would not have.
And 361 from Dak.
Russ, I was trying to think of a good analogy, man. Maybe he's McDonald's. Just sometimes the ice cream machine does work. Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, sometimes a double quarter pounder with cheese tastes amazing. Other times it doesn't.
He really was cooking yesterday, except for
the most important interception.
Yeah.
That's the most important drive.
Can I just say, listening to it on the radio, because we had that game.
Chiefs Eagles.
But man, the fandom that comes out of NFL announcers is just so strange. I'm like, wait, what are we doing? Am I still listening to the game, or is this like
that was at least that one was? We got some breaking news coming across.
Joe Burrow. Yeah, Joe Burrow's going to be out for a while.
Is it officially official? Okay. We're breaking the news that we broke yesterday. Breaking news. Joe Burrow is going to have surgery. He's expected to miss at least 3 months.
Yeah, I predict. Although turf toe is
an injury that everyone was saying it yesterday, and I agree with it. It needs to change its name. It needs a complete rebrand because, it's actually a devastating injury.
It hurts. Yes,
you tear all the ligaments in your toe.
I have been a victim of turf toe, and I can tell you, one, a cortisone shot is not the way to go for that.
No.
And that, two, it is very painful.
But so breaking news, Joe Burrow will undergo surgery on his turf toe. I guess getting that second opinion from Dr. Robert Anderson just told them they needed to do that, and I've got an overreaction around Joe Burrow coming up at 9:30. We want to hear your overreactions as well, 804-327-0888. Text in those overreactions, and we'll read them at 9:30 a.m. when we have Overreaction Monday. But Russell Wilson, he was cooking, man. He was cooking. He was looking good. But then the Dallas Cowboys, what do they have? They have an absolute cheat code. A cheat code as the kicker. Here's my take from this game, right? You ready for this? And this might be just like a stupid fan take, but I'm ready to go out on this one. If I'm a general manager of a football team, I am going to every professional soccer league in the world, and I am giving them a football, and I'm saying, pick this. And then we'll assess the situation, and we'll go from there. And then, maybe if you get him from the MLS, one of the top goal scorers in the MLS was Patrick Hodgman. He's now at Derby County over in England. But when he was playing in MLS, he was paid $75,000 a year. And he was one of the leading goal scorers in the entire league. $75,000 a year. You can offer that man $1.2 million. He'll jump at that opportunity, and he'll go be an NFL player. Look, Brandon Aubrey, he was a former college soccer player. I believe he played some professional soccer briefly. Then he found his way to the USFL. Then he found his way to the NFL. How do we miss him? How was he missed? The dude, you get to the 50-yard line. Mind you, you're getting the ball now with the new touchback rules at the 35 if it's a touchback. You've got to go how many yards? 15 yards, one first down, and you're in field goal range for your kicker? That's a cheat code. If I'm a general manager, I'm going out and I'm finding as many cheat codes as I possibly can. We're working out soccer players all offseason. We'll find one. There is one out there. There's one in the MLS. There's one in the the USL Championship, USL League One. There is a kicker out there that I can put on my team who can bang it from 65 consistently with Brandon Aubrey. An absolute cheat code, man. That's my team. Now, it's insane.
Here I come with the wet blanket. I don't want to use a kicker.
Okay, I'm sorry. Well, then you just lost that game. You're 0-2.
No,
You don't use a kicker?
We
All
would
right.
need a kicker because we had, corners and you know what? Not even a corner. We just had somebody, just one player that could really just dominate the line of scrimmage. We just had that in Dallas. I doubt we would have been in these situations that we're facing. Nah, man.
This might be your worst take of all time.
I am a victim of kicking Kyle. I have seen what kicking does for a football team, and you don't win a lot of games by kicking field goals. You win a lot. You win more by stopping off the offenses. You win more by scoring touchdowns.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to take a special trip to some random soccer camp to find. Aubrey was on his couch. His wife was like, "You can miss that field goal," and that's how he discovered the Cowboys, and the Cowboys discovered him. You don't need a GM. You just need a married man with nothing to do.
That's a full quote. That's a full quote from the show.
Jeez.
Oh, like, all I'm saying is, while you don't have a kicker, I'll happily take all my wins.
for
Having
it,
a kicker that can bang it from 65 consistently.
Give me 7. Sure, but in that scenario, the Cowboys couldn't have gotten 7. 15 seconds left, 3 timeouts, and what do? We get a 15-yard gain called timeout, and then we're able to kick the game winner. And you know what ultimately led to them winning that game is the fact that Russ just forgot that he was cooking. He went to microwave Russ through that interception.
He accidentally put water and oil. He started a
I don't
huge
know what he was
fire.
looking at when
He wasn't looking at anything. He can't see the offensive line. He did throw back the clock, though. 453 tutties in regulation.
somebody in blue is down. That's a good strategy when you're playing Dallas.
Also
Somebody in blue.
worth noting, Cam Scatabo led the team in carries, out carrying Tyrone Tracy and Devin Singletary combined, and he averaged 4.1 yards per touch. So maybe Cam Scatabo now the new RB1 in New York. But,
Cam Allstott.
oh, but going back to what you were saying, the Dallas game we had on our air was through the Cowboys, though, so it was their home team announcers.
Yeah.
So those radio announcers for their NFL home team are the most crazy fans I've ever heard.
They are, though.
And I respect it. Like, if that was a neutral broadcast, I would say something. But no, if you're the team specific broadcaster, go crazy, man. You start complaining about everything. I don't think that's a flag.
Well, it's wild that when we air the Cowboy games, we get air broadcast.
Yeah.
But Eagles Chiefs, it was like Baldy and some other guy. It was like the professional company.
Yeah, the national game.
More aesthetic pleasing when I was listening to it. Like, oh, so I'm not listening to some biased opinion. It's actually saying what's going on the field.
Yeah. Who knew? All right, let's get a break in here. We'll step aside. Be back with some news or snooze. We'll chat a little bit about the Philadelphia Eagles win over the Kansas City Chiefs to start off hour number 2 as well. Coming up, news or snooze on the other side of this break.
Soccer in RVA is winding down with just a few games left this season. Make your plans now to catch the next Richmond Kickers home game, Wednesday, September 17th versus Portland Hearts of Pike. Tune in to hear ESPN Richmond live as we count down to this nationally televised game on RVA Community Night at City Stadium. Then it's on to a Saturday night showdown, September 20th versus Charlotte Independence. Reserve your tickets today at richmondkickers.com. And don't forget, at Kickers games, dogs are always welcome.
Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back. Tremfya guselkumab may help, with remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission in 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. For treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year. Based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
How would you like a free dinner? That's right, a free dinner. Hi, I'm Jeff Trice with the Insurance Doctor, and I've been telling you for years that nobody beats the Insurance Doctor's prices. Now I'll prove it. Just bring your current auto insurance policy to the Insurance Doctor location nearest you. We can't beat your price, I'll buy you dinner at the restaurant of your choice. So now is the perfect time to shop your auto insurance because I'll either save you a ton of money on your car insurance or dinner's on me. Either way, you get paid. Our competitors like to say they can save you money on your car insurance, but only the insurance doctor has a low price guarantee. No matter who you're with, we will beat their price. It's guaranteed. Oh, and by the way, I'll throw in your own personal agent for free. Just bring your current auto insurance policy into the insurance doctor location nearest you. I'll either save you a ton of money on your car insurance or dinner's on me. So call us today and see why I say nobody beats the insurance doctor.
See website for details. Bills happen with not a lender who does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old, not available in all states.
Everything is so expensive, and our bills are piling up.
You're telling me credit cards are maxed out, rent is due, and the car payment's right around the corner. You need some extra cash.
You should do what my friend from work did. She went to billshappen.com and got the money she needed the next day.
Our credit is not great. Are you sure that would work for us?
Bills Happen is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types, up to $5,000.
Sounds like it's going to be a hassle.
My friend said it was super easy. She did it right from her phone during her lunch break.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000, and you cash credit your bank account the next day. BillsHappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history. Guess what? I went to BillsHappen.com, and we're getting our money tomorrow.
Oh, that's fast. Problem solved.
If you need extra cash, go to BillsHappen.com. That's BillsHappen.com. BillsHappen.com.
It's bow time. The Pork Chop Griller is back at Bojangles for a limited time. We know you missed it in all its tender, marinated glory, and how could you not? Because when you take a juicy, mouth-watering pork chop and sandwich it on a flaky, made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, it's not a flavor you want to say goodbye to. And don't worry, if it could talk, we're pretty sure it would say, I missed you too. Get to the nearest Bojangles and order yours today. It's Bojangles.
Hey, it's Paul Sargent, owner of All Set Auto Richmond. How would you like the best paint protection film, ceramic coating, or window tint for your vehicle? At All Set Auto Richmond, we have the product, knowledge, and experience to enhance and protect your vehicle. I personally invite you to come over and visit us at All Set Auto Richmond. We're on Malin Drive near 64 in Gaskins. Or feel free to Google us, All Set Auto Richmond. That's ALSET Auto Richmond. Protect your vehicle from the Richmond road elements and the hot sun with All Set Auto Richmond.
Weather reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Linux dealer, online at HermanAllenPlumbing.com.
106.1 ESPN weather.
It's going to be 62 degrees and mostly cloudy with a high today of 7 of 60. We are expecting overcast skies throughout the morning into the afternoon. A consistent northeast breeze averaging about 7 miles per hour with gusts up to 14 miles per hour. We're taking a look at tomorrow, a high chance of rain with a high of 69 and a low of 62.
106.1 ESPN in your pocket. Download the app for all shows, live updates, podcasts, and sports takes hotter than a game-winning drive. Your team, your way. Get it now. News. News.
Everybody's favorite segment, News or Snooze. Back to the right side of things. We've got all NFL today.
All right, no,
Yeah,
Kawhi
all
Leonard.
NFL.
I got yelled at for Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, I don't understand how that made its way in. We're betting it from now on. But this one. All right, up first. Joe Burrow could miss months with turf toe injury. We just got the update of breaking news that in fact it will be 3 months. At least 3 months. That's newsworthy. News or Snooze? I didn't news. See, you confused me there. News. I mean, all right. I don't want to spoil one of my overreactions, but this is pretty bad for Burrow because now this is the third time he's had a season. That's 3 months. What? Bengals probably won't be in a playoff race when it's time for him to come back in December, roughly. I don't think they'll be in the thick of it, so I wonder if they just shut him down for the remainder of the season. This is now the third time in his career where he has missed extended periods of time. It was the ACL his rookie year. It was the wrist, 2-3 years ago? And now it's his foot toe injury. It's time we call him injury prone, and that is a real bummer for Joe Burrow. The team has not done enough to keep him protected around him. That offensive line is bad. Things have just gone from bad to worse for Joe Burrow and the Bengals.
News with it is now because this completely derails what little chances they had already.
Maybe they'll actually draft offensive lineman.
No, they'll draft another defensive end, then not pay him, and then have him miss all of training camp. He also left the game with an injury. Shamar Stewart, their first-round draft pick.
Well, you said not taking the last one. I think one of my worst draft picks ever was that Penny Sewell should have been drafted over Jamar Chase.
I was in the same boat.
And I stayed on. I literally died on that hill when they went to the Super Bowl.
I still agree that Penny Sewell was the better
Yeah,
pick.
I still say that too. I'm like a quarterback can make a receiver before a quarterback can make an offensive line in today's league. And other than Michael Parsons picking Sewell up and removing him from the screen, he's been a great left tackle. I think it would have helped. Jamar Chase is an amazing talent, but this team is only going to go as far as their quarterback, and their quarterback consistently takes knocks that he shouldn't. And the accumulation, you just don't know. Every time you get hit, you're running the risk of getting injured in the NFL.
Plus side of all of this is that they are 2-0. They're the only undefeated team in the AFC North, so you've built yourself up a good 2-0 lead. For the first time in the history, first time since 2018, the Bengals are 2-0. That was Marvin Lewis's last year.
Right. They might beat the Vikings, Broncos, Lions, Packers, Steelers, Jets. That's going to be
Good luck.
All right.
Jake Browning. All right, what's next?
Number 2. The tush push causes stir among NFL fans. It's awesome that you actually had this in queue. We got a text about it.
Look, the tush push, I think Casey Rick was our texter, and I think he's crashing out because he said the tush push needs to be banned. It's a cheap play, and I hate the officials cannot see it and can't call it. I'm just ranting, but dang, man. Yeah, Chiefs fans are crashing out. Eagles fans are crashing out more than anyone else about the tush push. Though. Did you see them all over social media? They're like, they're going to ban it after this year. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, they're on it every time.
You still have it. It wasn't banned. Enjoy the football. Don't be complaining about the tush push. Which, actually, after yesterday's game, I have flipped the script on it. I was a staunch supporter in the tush push. If the officials aren't going to officiate it correctly, it does severely impact the entertainment value of a football game.
Newsworthy.
I have flipped. I don't think it should be banned, but I think it should be officiated much harder. That false start was missed. They're lining up offsides almost every time. How about we officiate it correctly? And then that will probably change the way that the tush push is called by the Eagles. But Kevin Patullo, the new offensive coordinator for the Eagles, dude was just spamming the tush push button. And it really just made the end of the game not.
Yeah, they probably did it intentionally. They controlled it a little bit. I'm with you. I don't think the play should be banned, but it should be officiated right. If guys are lining up in front of the ball or jumping off top, if it's not within the rules of formations, then yes, it should be adjusted. And I I always say keep them out of 31 or 41 or 3rd and 2 or 4th and 2 at this point. But at the end of the day, the structure of the play should be aligned with what everybody else has to go through as far as their expectations.
Yes,
I did hear wind of there was a false start or something.
There was a complete false start. You watch it, you could see it with the naked eye. What's the next one?
Shador Sanders told Ravens not to draft.
Newsworthy. Oh, watch Shador fall. The NFL's blackballing him. Apparently, he was blackballing himself.
I mean, I'm not mad with him telling the Ravens not to draft him. I don't want to sit behind Lamar Jackson either.
Come on, man.
I want to play.
Yeah. Well, what is he doing at Cleveland? Not playing.
Exactly.
Bro,
but that was probably
you were falling in the draft. The Ravens said they wanted to take you, and you tell them, I don't want to be drafted by you because they don't want to sit behind Lamar Jackson. The Ravens, all they've done is turn Joe Flacco into a Super Bowl winning quarterback. They turned Lamar Jackson into a 2-time NFL MVP. Who is Shador Sanders to tell one of the more consistent franchises in the NFL not to draft him? That is horrible. Whoever was advising Shador, come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing? Who are you to tell the Ravens, oh, I don't want to play with you? Who are you, man? You haven't played a snap in the NFL. Who are you?
I would have done that. I don't want to. I don't want to get behind. I want to get behind Lamar either. I'd rather take my chances.
I'd rather be in Cleveland and
working up. I really would have as
have
a player.
Second contract because I'm going to flame out in Cleveland.
I try to work my way up to the Cleveland Browns roster before I sit behind Lamar. If I feel like I got the talent to start, If I
Yeah,
was
but
like Tyler Shuck, oh yeah, sign me up for
man,
backup
he
to
doesn't have the
Lamar.
talent to start. He hasn't started.
I know he hasn't started. That doesn't mean he doesn't have the talent to start. It means he hasn't started.
Look, when Lamar gets hurt, he could have had an opportunity to start a couple of games too.
Oh, it
Maybe
is a
get sick.
contract year. He would have probably would have been different.
I just think it's insane for QB to be like, I don't want to. All right, let's get our last break in here. I'll be back to wrap up hour number one right here on this Monday, 106.1 ESPN.
Traffic display ESPN Richmond. Brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. A premier Linux dealer. Online at HermanAllenPlumbing.com.
You don't have to be just a number when it comes to your health care. The average doctor cares for 4,000 patients per year. A Welcome MD doctor like Dr. Richard Peoples sees less than 400 patients per year. This means you get better personalized health care specific to your needs. Aren't you worth it? Make an appointment today with Dr. Peoples at 804-774-7099 or visit WelcomeMD.com. Mention this ad for a special discount. Welcome MD.
See website for details. Those happen to handle lender. It does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, everything is so expensive, and our bills are piling up.
You're telling me credit cards are maxed out, rent is due, and the car payment's right around the corner. We need some extra cash.
You should know what my friend from work did. She went to billshopping.com and got the money she needed the next day.
Our credit is not great. Are you sure that would work for us?
Bills Hopping is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types, up to $5,000.
Sounds like it's going to be a hassle.
My friend said it was super easy. She did it right from her phone during her lunch break.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. BillsHappy.com lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Guess what? I went to BillsHappen.com, and we're getting our money tomorrow.
Wow, that's fast. Problem solved.
If you need extra cash, go to BillsHappen.com. That's BillsHappen.com. BillsHappen.com.
The Bentelli Fall Sales Event is on now through October 31st. Great selection of LSVs and special finance rates are available. Cruise your neighborhood in style with a street-legal low-speed vehicle from Richmond LSV. Bluetooth sound system, seatbelts, and lithium batteries are all standard equipment. Schedule a test drive today during the Bentelli Fall Sales Event at richmondlsv.com or text 804-363-4351. Fun, fully charged.
Hey, this is Jack Fitzpatrick. If you've ever been in a car accident, there's one place to call, Schilling and Esposito. I know them personally. I know their work ethic. They focus on their clients and their big dog obsession with getting the most compensation for their client. Heck, they even give you their cell phone numbers. Call them today at 804-320-0950 and put their entire team to work for you. 804-320-0950. Schilling and Esposito.
Catch up on the latest horse racing news. Off to the Races live broadcast, 10 to 11 every Saturday morning on 106.1 ESPN. Presented by the Racing Biz.
Cooler fall temperatures are coming, and that means perfect weather for a round of golf at Queenfield Golf Club. Queenfield is a beautifully secluded 18-hole course just a few minutes east of Mechanicsville that offers a spacious driving range, practice screens and bunkers, and professionally maintained golf course. Take the afternoon off or schedule your tee time today by calling 804-769-8838 or reserve your spot online at QueenfieldGolf.com. Queenfield Golf Club, RVA's best kept secret.
Continue on, Richmond. Break up 106.1 ESPN's live play-by-play. Blizzarding hot takes and non-stop action. Your ticket to the hype. Stay dialed in.
Welcome back in. Fitz the Bill as we wrap up hour number one right here on ESPN Richmond live from the Ortho Virginia studios in the capital of the Commonwealth. Hour number two coming up. We've got a lot to break down, specifically that boxing match where Terrence Crawford, you called your shot, Alan. You got it big time on that one. We'll break down the Alvarez-Crawford fight from this last weekend, from Saturday. We'll react to more NFL games, some more college football storylines. Virginia Tech has fired Brent Pry. And we got a little overreaction Monday for you. I've got 3 overreactions. Alan's got 3 overreactions. And we want to hear your overreaction. We've heard one from Bruce. We heard one from what I assume is KC Rick, who's crashing out over the tush push. And we want to hear yours as well. 804-327-0888. 888. Text in your overreactions and let us know. We'll read them off at 9:30 a.m. when we do our overreaction Monday segment. So much more coming up in hour number 2. Are the Colts legit? They haven't punted yet this season.
More proof you don't need kickers.
Oh my God. That's a punter. That's not a kicker.
He kicks the ball. They don't need extra points either. They get 7 every time they score.
Oh, they just
automatic 7.
They just automatically get it. And we'll also break down the Eagles Chiefs game from yesterday. Is it time to hit the panic button on the Chiefs? That's coming up. Hour number 2.
Stats optional. Opinions guaranteed. Matt Josephs brings you border to border. 3 to 4 on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, where Richmond talks sports. Cooler fall temperatures are coming, and that means perfect weather for a round of golf at Queenfield Golf Club. Queenfield is a beautifully secluded 18-hole course just a few minutes east of Mechanicsville. It offers a spacious driving range, practice greens, bunkers, and professionally maintained golf course. Take the afternoon off or schedule your tee time today by calling 804-769-8838 or reserve your spot online at QueenfieldGolf.com. Queenfield Golf Club, RVA's best kept secret.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, hurry, make an announcement.
Attention shoppers. If you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
You love to travel? Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your home?
Terms apply. Access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details. Serving Richmond and beyond for over 20 years, Bonaire Shell features a full line of automotive services. Check out BonaireShell.com, loaded with coupons, specials, and more to see all that they can do for your car and your peace of mind. And now with the Fuel Rewards program, you can save at least 5 cents per gallon on every fill-up. Learn more at FuelRewards.com. Go see the team at Bonaire Shell, 8762 West Huguenot Road. Go to BonaireShell.com or call them at 272-3232. That's 272-3232.
The ESPN studio, presented by Ortho Virginia. Find one of Ortho Virginia's orthopedic locations at orthovirginia.com. Don't get too many YCL Lakeside Richmond. WRV8 Richmond. We are 161 ESPN. You're listening to the second hour of Fitz the Bill on 106.1 ESPN.
Welcome in hour number 2 of Fitz the Bill on this Monday, September 15th morning. Thank you for clocking in, getting your day started with us right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, Allen alongside, making sure that the show runs smoothly on this Monday morning as we react to week 2 of the NFL season, week 3 of the college football season, and a boxing match that was Saturday night where Crawford picked up a big win over Canelo Alvarez. That was you called your shot on that one, Alan. You knew it was coming. You were all over Crawford when we were doing our picks. I technically never gave out a pick, but just in fairness, I too would have gone with Terrence Crawford.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's cliche, but skills pay the bills. Terrence Crawford is man, he's probably one of maybe 5 guys I've seen. I've seen.
Yes, there we go. You've seen.
Like, so I'm 40, so I obviously didn't see people I know. Hey, watch it. But I give him his respect. It's unfortunate that I feel like leading up to the fight, a lot of people didn't know who he was per se. Like, I even had friends who were like, who were saying, youth was going to play a factor in this. I was like, Terrence Crawford's 37, man. Canelo's actually the younger one. He's 35. It's just Terrence Crawford was a late bloomer because the business that is boxing hurt Terrence Crawford. It's not that he didn't want to fight. He had Bob Arum. Bob Arum basically said he wasn't entertaining entertaining enough to schedule fights for. And I think honestly, it wasn't that he wasn't entertaining enough. People just didn't want to fight. He's a disciplined guy to fight, and he's a natural southpaw, but he can fight orthodox. So essentially, he can switch it up in the middle of combination. I've seen him do it something. Like he'll come out southpaw, he'll throw a combination, and he'll go to swing back, and his lead hand is switched. His feet have switched, right? So he is a Rubik's cube of a boxer. And, it might not have been as entertaining to some folks. I think boxing as a sport has gotten stale with the general public. But for all the people who are like, oh, all they do is run, all they do is this, at one point in the fight, he's standing in the middle of the ring going toe to toe with a guy that's technically 20 pounds bigger than him by his natural fighting class. He's whipping him, like literally whipping him. So, and it's not like it's just some bum. This is the face of boxing. This is Canelo Alvarez.
How crazy is it that he essentially rose up like 3 weight classes to pull off this fight? How have we ever seen that before in a fight like that?
We've seen people rise up in weight. I would say when Roy Jones did it, when he beat John Ruiz, I want to say he's fighting around 175, and then he came into the fight against the heavyweight. Ruiz was probably about 245, 250, and the biggest Roy got up to was about 215. That's probably the most recent memory for me. You don't see that a lot in smaller guys. You don't see guys like when Manny Pacquiao went up in the weight, he went class by class. So he was like, say he was like a junior welterweight, then he went up to welterweight, then he went up to super welterweight, something like that. You don't see people go from welterweight to like middleweight. They don't skip and do it like that. So it was great to see. That's what I'm going to put you through right now, just because I was in the middle of talking. So we'll switch to Espo. Good morning, Espo. How we doing?
Oh, good. Back for a little college football down in Baton Rouge.
I can hear it in your voice. You had a great weekend, huh?
What a great time.
There was a lot of screaming. There was a lot of canvassing. There was a lot of everything. The game was from the afterthought. The atmosphere was dragged together every 2 weeks.
Yeah, a win is a win. Brian Kelly may have gotten a little upset that the media didn't treat it as a win, though.
Well, that's Brian Kelly being Brian Kelly. The good news is Coach Sloan says everybody up in Richmond. He's the former Thomas Dale guy who's the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach down there. He was nice enough to get us on the field. We met Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, who was there being off. It was a really wonderful weekend for football.
That's awesome.
Everybody had a great time. Yeah, it's cool. But talk down there was from the talk up here, which is and Coach Fitz Father. It's so strange. I mean, we were watching the sports combine. The guy next to me was actually from Loudon, from Virginia too. It's like it's got to be a mistake.
Virginia Tech scores, ODU score. There's no way that they're up 28-0 at halftime. But
look, that's exactly the one we saw. Yeah, I was like, well, that's got to be the board.
They've kind of burned me the last couple of years because I've always been like, ODU is the sleeper team in the Sun Belt. I like ODU. I like what they've got going on. Ricky Ronnie's a good coach. And every year they kind of let me down a little bit. And this year I went back to the well. I was saying it. I really like Colton Joseph. I think he's a very good quarterback, specifically running the football. I think they've got the talent kind of across the board. So that game, while the final score was a shock, I thought ODU was going to be able to stay in it and give Virginia Tech a run for its money. But I think that just showed that ODU is a lot better than what they may have been the last couple of years. And also in the same side of the coin, Virginia Tech had kind of, Allen brought up the Q word, and I agree with it. They had quit on Brent Pry, and that's why that change needed to be made.
Yeah, I'm the guy next to me and I were talking about it. I'm starting to believe basically Frank Beamer caught lightning in the bottle because they were certainly irrelevant. Even in early Beamer's term, and before that, terrible. And now after he's gone, it's been 15 years. It's been atrocious or mediocre maybe. But they went to the first year they were okay.
They've been sliding backwards for quite some time. Like for a long time, they have been. The trajectory has not been forward. It's either been neutral or backwards. And I think, an 0-3 start, which I think is the first time they've started 0-3 since Beamer's first year. Like, the change had to be made. And President Sands said it in his statement where they're making that leadership change. They understand that a big change needs to be made. They say they're going to invest. They're going to make changes operationally, financially, leadership-wise. But they're going to have to make some sort of massive change if they want to remain relevant in Virginia. Because UVA, I think UVA's past them with the amount of NIL they have and the success they've seen this year. I think JMU, ODU, Liberty, all right on the heels of Virginia Tech. And look, there's the huge realignment that's probably going to happen in 2030 when all of these media rights deals are up, 2030, 2031. Virginia Tech's got to position itself to be in a spot of where conferences desire them, or they could find themselves kind of SOL quite quick.
Well, they're one of the lowest spenders in the ACC. At a chart, and I thought, and I'm like, they're just barely above the profit pool.
Yeah, that's rough.
I think they pay their coach $4 million. Some of the other ACC teams are paying him, and he's not going to attract the kind of candidate you want.
Of the 13 public schools that have their coach's salary publicly available, he is the 11th of 13 with his $4 million salary. The tops of it are Mike Norvell and Dabo, ranging around $9 to $11 million. So they've got to up that quite a bit if they want to lure a coach away, and they're going to have to nail this hire. Espo, thank you so much for calling in. Have a wonderful rest of your day. There goes Espo. Man, it sounded in his voice. You could hear he had a great weekend.
It's the recovery place. I've been there.
It's me after every JMU game I go to.
I've heard tales of SEC and LSU partying. My friend actually had passes to the Auburn game and was giving me some pictures from behind the scenes down there. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I was a little jealous. I was like, I'll never get to an SEC school for coverage, but they've got amenities galore. They even got their own barber shop for Auburn football. Yeah, that's legit.
And yet they're not able to win more games.
Hey, it just means more.
It just means more. Ain't that the truth? It just means more. It means more in Blacksburg, at least right now, because they've got to figure out what it means to mean more.
They can bounce back. I mean, we know quality coaching in lower divisions, and I would hope that they do their due diligence. It doesn't have to be a P4 guy.
Yeah. No, I don't think it should be. Like, I really think you go to the group of five or even the FCS and hire a guy that you know is a program rebuilder, who is a good recruiter, because that is something where Virginia Tech has been lacking these last couple of years. It's recruiting the Commonwealth, because they're losing recruiting battles to the Penn States, to the Ohio State, to the South Carolinas, teams like that. They're losing these recruiting battles. And even more recently, a couple of Rhino kids, I think, are going to UVA, where I don't know how far along Virginia Tech in that process, but UVA is starting to win these Commonwealth recruiting battles for 3 and 4 stars.
Now, see how that, and I just did a quick Google search, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be on people's radar. There's one coordinator assistant that
Was it the Oregon OC?
No.
Okay.
It's actually a defensive coordinator, which is probably something they don't want to hear. But Tony White in Florida State has done such an amazing job with Florida State's defense. But it wasn't the Florida State thing. I saw this in Tony White when he was at Nebraska last year, right? Like, he knows how to get the most out of personnel. He's doing that from the defensive side of the ball. And he was with Matt Rule, who is a known program builder. So I'm pretty sure he picked up something from that connection. Now he's doing a great job at Florida State. So clearly he can coach. If you can't get Gus, if you can't get Gus, if you can't get Gus, like people are saying, and I don't think Mullins would come to Virginia Tech. I think Tony White's a good fallback plan. That will bring some, again, the stability we're looking for in a direction, right? Philosophy. Like, you need somebody that knows what they're doing, and I don't think it's far-fetched to think that this guy who's had success at both stops. This Florida State job is incredible because it's literally a team put together.
Yeah.
Like, I would give him a look too. But I would imagine, you know how it is when you have a defensive coach, it doesn't work. Everybody wants to go to the offensive side of the spectrum and make sure that works. So we'll see what pops up in the radar. But I just hope they don't overthink it.
No, you can't overthink. Make the right hire.
Just don't get cute. Like that's the thing that I'm worried about with them is trying to get cute with something. And maybe I'm just hearing it from the fans right now, where the fans are like, we want Mike Vick. No, like don't get cute with it. Just go for a proven commodity who you know can step in, stabilize, and rebuild that program. Because right now you are at such a pivotal point where Virginia Tech thinks that they are an ACC contender year in and year out. You have to face the reality. You're not. You might be able to pop off once every 4 to 5 years and be in the discussion for a top team in the ACC, but you have to understand where you are in the pecking order. You need to be a consistently top 6 to 7 team in the ACC who is a frisky team who's going to good bowl games. That's what Virginia Tech is. That's how they should approach this. And that's how you, I think, have the most long-term success. If you go for the flashy hire that has a really high ceiling but a really low floor, then you're putting yourself in unneeded danger. Like I think this is going after the safe pick. It might not invigorate your fan base, but you want to get a coach that can consistently get you 7, 8, 9 wins, and then occasionally once every couple of years pop off for 10, 11 wins, and that is the recipe for success, I think, for Virginia Tech. All right, let's get this break in. On the other side, we'll talk about some of the other Week 2 NFL games from around the league right here on Fitz The Bill.
Richmond Kickers soccer games in the fall is an RVA tradition. Just a few games left at City Stadium this season. Reserve your tickets online at richmondkickers.com.
Our air show has been serving the RVA community for 20 plus years, providing service with a smile and technicians you can trust. Family owned and operated, 8762 Huguenot Road.
Richmond's history begins with the James River. Our water system began in the 1830s with iron and lead pipes. Nearly 200 years later, the original water lines are being replaced to ensure that water remains clean, safe, and reliable. As part of a nationwide effort, we need to know the material of everyone's service line. Please help by taking a water service line survey. Learn more about the city's free water program at rva.gov/public-utilities or call 646-8600. EPU and you. Let's get the lead out.
A Progressive Home and Auto Bundle can protect you around the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sport.
The ref totally blew that call.
Oh, I'm sure he'll make the right call next time.
It's too late. It cost us the game.
Well, it's just one game.
That loss eliminated us from the playoffs.
Oh, the playoffs are on so late. Now you'll be well rested.
Okay, I need you to start talking now.
Well, look, Mr. Home and Auto protect you with a bundle from Progressive. Specialty insurance company affiliates and insurance not available in all states or situations.
The John Deere Gator XUV lets you cut, pack, drive, stack, load, stack, pull, load, tow, spray, and haul, all in a single day. Because with the highest cargo box volume in its class, customizable features, and a towing capacity of up to 4,000 pounds, it gets the job done. You just have to get in the seat. Learn more at your John Deere dealer. Visit johndeere.com/GatorXUV.
This is Brennan Wells, the owner of Pro Weld Fabricators. We are a Richmond-based company. We are here for all of your welding projects. Bradley Hicks here with Pro Weld Fabricators. We bring all the right tools to your doorstep. Emergency repair? No problem. We're available 24/7 for all commercial and residential needs. You need Pro Weld Fabricators. Learn more about Pro Weld Fabricators and check out some of our awesome projects at pro-weldfabricators.com. Pro Weld Fabricators is your number one source for any of your commercial welding needs.
Hey, this is Jack Patrick. If you've ever been in a car accident, there's one place to call. Schilling and Esposito. I know them personally. I know their work ethic. They focus on their clients and their big dog obsession with getting the most compensation for their client. Heck, they even give you their cell phone numbers. Call them today at 804-320-0950 and put their entire team to work for you. 804-320-0950. Schilling and Esposito.
Your trash is treasure at CNC Colored Recycling. From copper wire to radiator ends, fans to lit batteries, CNC Colored Recycling will pay cash or check for your unwanted scrap metal. No load is too large or too small. Dump it, recycle it, and get paid at CNC Colored Recycling, just south of Maple Street on Route 1 in Ashland. Free local container services available too. CNC Colored Recycling, open every weekday and half day on Saturday. Check the latest cash scrap prices online right now at cccollet.com. That's CCCULLET.
Great news! Part-time and full-time jobs are available with companies at the Richmond Airport. Attend the casual in-person job fair September 18th from 10 to 3 at the Sheraton Richmond Airport Hotel, 5501 Eubank Road, across from the airport. Meet companies that are hiring now: TSA, Piedmont, SP Plus, and the Capital Region Airport Commission. The Richmond International Airport Job Fair is September 18th from 10 to 3 at the Sheraton Richmond Airport Hotel. Resumes encouraged but not required. For a list of employment opportunities, visit flyrichmond.com/employment.
From rush hour to Richmond Roar, Bob Newbeck's voice is your co-pilot. Dive into all the stats, fiery takes, and the kind of energy that beats brake lights. Weekdays, 4 to 6 p.m. in your drive's favorite huddle.
Welcome back in, Fitz The Bill on this Monday morning. The Eagles secured their spot as still the team to beat. Each week they're going to have to re-secure it, but they have secured it as the team to beat in the National Football League. It was an impressive win, or was it just a win? I think it was just a win.
I think it was just, I think they were the better team going into the game. I don't think the mystique and, storyline is there anymore after they beat them in the Super Bowl, demolished them in the Super Bowl.
But I mean,
they didn't demolish them.
they beat them. They squeaked by. It was 10-10 at half, and KC's offense looks pretty bad. Mahomes finished with 187 yards. He was sacked twice for 14 yards. Jalen Hurts finished with 101 yards. He was sacked twice for a loss of 7 yards. So technically, the net passing yards for Jalen Hurts was sub 100. Congrats, though. You won.
Yeah,
I want to hear who's telling me he's not a game manager.
I mean, a lot of people are, I think, hinting.
I'm just saying he's elite game manager.
It's not a bad thing.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I know you're not saying it as a bad thing. I don't understand why people get so offended when somebody says somebody's a game manager.
It's not derogatory. It's game manager celebratory. I just have to say that it is celebratory. But defense was the star of the show in this one. It was all defense. Neither offense could really find any type of rhythm against one another.
Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter combined tackled Patrick Mahomes one time. And I don't know how anybody could accept
that. 1,000
I know
pounds.
it was terrifying for me to watch. I was like, oh my God. Oh man, how does that happen? We got to block at least one of them. But yeah, they both got a hold of him and tackled him. And that's going to be the story of their defense. I know people were questioning when they let a lot of guys go, but the Eagles have done an amazing job of blending talent with veterans, right?
Yes.
And then during that time, they had deep postseason runs, including the Super Bowl. So after that, the veterans become the student becomes the master, right? You don't need them anymore, essentially, right? So you don't need a Darius Slay to mentor a Quinyon Mitchell. You've got that already.
Now you got Quinyon Mitchell. You don't need
Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. You guys are now the master, right? You get it, right? We're taking the gloves off. Thank you, Slay, for your contribution. We're gonna save $5-6 million and go with these guys. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back into the draft and make the student, now the master, the teacher. And they've got a lot of depth, and it's beautiful to watch. It's been a masterclass. There's been some hiccups along the way, but ultimately it's been a masterclass. And they are more set up to be a dynasty than I think people give them credit, which is insane to say.
Well, they've made the Super Bowl 2 out of the last 3 years.
Yeah, and they can sustain this. The Chiefs can't that's what we're seeing, decline.
We've also seen it where the Chiefs are now at the tail end of their dynasty.
Yeah.
The Patriots had this too. The Patriots had their first dynasty with Brady. Then they had those couple of years where they lost to the Giants a couple of times in the Super Bowl. Things fell apart. I think in that time period, Brady got hurt. Matt Castle was around for a year. There was that the lull in the Patriots dynasty for half a decade, and then they refound it. They kind of changed their identity, and then they retook off there at the tail end of Brady, and it was essentially two different dynasties. I think we're at the tail end of dynasty number 1 with the Chiefs, and what their moves are going to be is going to be imperative to see if, like the Patriots in the 2000s, if now in the 2020s they're able to make the correct adjustments. Maybe take a year or 2 or 3 or 4 as kind of this lull, and then be able to restart with dynasty number 2. For the Eagles, they have the makings to go on this dynasty number one run because they've got an elite game manager. Jalen Hurts is elite at doing what is asked of him. Yesterday, it was not, hey, go out and throw for 400 yards and win us the game by, throwing for 4 touchdowns, not having a turnover and rush for another 3 touchdowns. That wasn't the approach. They said, all right, just don't lose us the game. And Jalen Hurts, he didn't turn the ball over. He didn't lose him the game. He executed the tush push to peak perfection 7 different times, scored a touchdown, and Saquon did what Saquon does, which is 88 yards, a touchdown, and was able to just keep the chains moving, and things were going well for them. And look, they've got the makings to have an elite level offense, and they have the pieces to have an elite level defense. And the Eagles, you heard it on our airwaves, are the best team in the NFL yesterday. You take down the Chiefs. You've stamped it where now you have handed the Chiefs 2 of their last 3 losses, and it's looking like the Eagles are the team to beat. Like it's that simple.
Yeah, I think
and the Chiefs dynasty's over.
I think the Eagles are their own worst enemy at this point. There's I don't think anybody is going to be better than them on paper, and I don't think anybody can outperform them on a consistent basis. Right? They've got it down. So we'll see, because it's hard to forget the year before last, right?
Yeah, that epic meltdown where they started 11-0, 12-0, undefeated.
It's hard to forget that. So we'll give it one more year. If they don't have any meltdowns, then I'll just stop mentioning it. But
well, I will also say, maybe this is me just being a certified Eagles hater, right? But their offense didn't look great in their week 1 win. Their offense didn't look great in that win in Kansas City. But you are 2-0. A win is a win is a win. I get all of that. But there are still some red flags in this offense where I don't know if Kevin Petula is kind of in over his head as the OC for Philly.
Yeah, I mean, it's not pretty wins, especially from the offensive side of the ball. But, if you're an Eagles fan, you stay optimistic because you're like, well, we've seen the offense look bad like this before. And the defense still looks amazing.
Yeah, as long as your defense
as long as Vic Fangio and those guys are doing what they're doing, you can be the Eagles and not complete a pass and still get at least 17 just off the strength of your running game.
Yeah, that's true.
And typically your defense is going to hold people to around about that average. So they're still going to win more games than they lose. It's when the inevitable big game from the opposing offense happens, right? Like you can't depend on stopping Jordan Love, Patrick Mahomes, if Joe Burrow was healthy, but like elite level quarterbacks, so Josh Allen, you can't depend on keeping them under 20 every single game. So you do want to see it look a little bit more prolific,
dynamic.
Yeah,
at least there needs to be some more.
They're missing explosion in that offense.
Need a little more dynamism in their overall game. You got the tush push, which is great. Did you know they almost banned the tush push?
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
when did that happen?
Yeah, if you want to be reminded of that, just talk to an Eagles fan. They'll bring it up within the first 4 words that they say.
They do get really excited about it.
They get so excited, and they bring it up as often as they can. They almost banned it. The NFL wants to ruin us. Yesterday, look, I said in hour 1, I was a staunch supporter of the tush push. After seeing Eagles fans yesterday during the game and then seeing how it was officiated, I'm anti-tush push. If they're allowed to be false starts on every play and be offsides, then what's the point in having officials for that play?
I mean, the NFL doesn't get anything out of suppressing the Eagles. They're one of the better, more exciting fan bases.
Yeah.
Is good when the Eagles
are good.
Yeah, like they're personally, I think they're the most fun fan base in the NFC East.
Except when they're talking about the tush push, man.
Yeah, well, that part.
They get so riled up about it.
But I would assume if I was a fan of the team, I would probably feel some kind of way about it too. But I think at some point they have to focus on the fact that you're the team to beat, right?
Yeah, focus on the fact that
who cares what the NFL is trying to do and what people are saying. You're winning football games. You got a Super Bowl. You beat Patrick Mahomes. I would kill for that as a Niners fan. I would love to get that monkey off my back. We'll never beat Patrick Mahomes. We'll always be kicking Kyle. So just enjoy the run that you're having so far. Funny story. My son's an Eagles fan. We've talked about that before. I always go back to his perspective of the Eagles. He's never seen them be bad. He's 8 years old and he's got 2 Super Bowl wins in his little mind. And so yesterday, when because every game he asked Alexa, what's the score to the Eagles game, right? That's his thing, even though he knows that the Eagles won. And Alexa told him to score to the Chiefs. And again, an 8-year-old, he's like, The Chiefs, they're wussies. They're supposed to be tough. They're Chiefs. They don't have any fight in them. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, when I was your age, the Eagles were okay, but nobody was afraid of the Eagles. They are now in this generation becoming the team to be
the team.
Yeah.
I think yesterday they stole that from the Chiefs. They took it away, and they are now the team that people are. You are worried to play the Eagles, no matter when, where, how, why. Like the Eagles are that team, and yesterday was kind of the close to the Chiefs dynasty, and the Chiefs are really close to hitting the panic button on. Like, it is very close for us.
Blow it up.
Honestly, like, they don't have a good offensive line. You traded away Joe Thuney to the Bears. He's not really doing much in Chicago, but like
the Bears.
The offensive line has gotten worse. Their best receiver is Hollywood Brown. Patrick Mahomes is having to do crazy stuff just to try and keep them in games. He led the team in rushing yesterday.
Patrick Lamar Jackson yesterday.
He was. It's insane that these are the people taking carries for the Kansas City Chiefs. Kareem Hunt. Yes, it is 2025. It is not 2019. And Kareem Hunt is taking 8 carries a game. Isaiah Pacheco had 10 carries for 22 yards. That's not good.
He's never really been good.
No, he just runs angry.
Yeah.
And then Brashard Smith, who I don't even know who it is, and I'm a sports talk radio host, and I've never even heard of Brashard.
That's my guy from SMU.
Sure. Yeah, it is. It is actually a 7th round draft pick, getting 1 carry for 2 yards. And Mahomes had 7 carries for 66 yards. And then who's he throwing to? Kelsey, who had one of the worst drops of the young season already, that resulted in a turnover and a touchdown, an ensuing touchdown for the Eagles. Kelsey led the way with 4 receptions. Tyquan Thornton had 2. Hollywood Brown was a consistent target. Then they were throwing to guys named Nico Remigio and Noah Gray and Juju Smith-Schuster. Like, there's just no oomph on that offense. There's no pizzazz. There's nothing that gets you excited.
Can I cape real quick, man? They got to figure out how to unlock Brashard Smith. He's a crazy good athlete, man. This is the second like elite level athlete they've drafted. CEH is what I'm going to call it, because I can't.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, there you go. I think he was kind of the same way. He came out pretty much graded as an elite level athlete. They should be able to unlock that, man. That's concerning to me. And Brashard Smith being a 7th round pick is probably because of his size more than anything, because he's 5'10", 196. But he was an amazing playmaker at the collegiate level, a guy you get in space that could do some great things. And so Andy and them got to figure it out. I really think as an organization and as a staff that the Chiefs have gotten complacent.
I don't hate that.
Yeah, and
I don't hate that take. I got a take about that for Overreaction Monday.
Yeah, and everybody, and I said this at the beginning of the season, everybody in the NFL makes progress one way or another, or they regress, right? There's always movement. There's
either progression or regression.
If you're standing still, you might as well count that as regression.
Yeah, if you and heck, I would argue they didn't even stand still. They took a step backward by trading away Joe Thuney and not bolstering the offensive line whatsoever. They've not bolstered the offensive line in Kansas City for the last 3 to 4 seasons, and with that, it's resulted in them losing a lot of important games. You lost the Tampa Bay Super Bowl because you didn't have a good offensive line. Now, there were a lot of things for why you lost the Super Bowl last year, but one of those was that you didn't have an offensive line that gave Patrick Mahomes time. And in the offseason, what did you do? You didn't bolster it. You actually made it worse by trading away one of your veteran kind of anchors at the guard position in Joe Thuney. That was a head-scratching decision, and now it's coming back to bite him. Look, I've been teasing it. Reaction Monday, because I've got a massive overreaction when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs. That's coming up on the other side of the break.
A Progressive Home and Auto Bundle can protect you round the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sports.
Defense. The ref totally blew that call.
Oh, I'm sure he'll make the right call next time.
It's too late. It cost us the game.
Well, it's just one game.
That loss eliminated us from the playoffs.
Oh, the playoffs are on so late. Now you'll be well rested.
Okay, I need you to stop talking now.
Well, at least your home and auto are protected with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
The John Deere Gator XUV lets you cut, pack, drive, scout, weld, stack, feed, pull, load, tow, spray, and haul, all in a single day. Because with the highest cargo box volume in its class, customizable features, and a towing capacity of up to 4,000 pounds, it gets the job done. You just have to get in the seat. Learn more at your John Deere dealer or visit johndeere.com/GatorXUV.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender. It does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, everything is so expensive, and our bills are piling up.
You're telling me credit cards are maxed out, rent is due, and the car payment's right around the corner? We need some extra cash.
We should do what my friend from work did. She went to billshappen.com and got the money she needed the next day.
Our credit is not great. Are you sure that would work for us?
Bills Happen is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
Sounds like it's going to be a hassle.
My friend said it was super easy. She did it right from her phone during her lunch break.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. BillsHappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Guess what? I went to billshappen.com, and we're getting our money tomorrow.
Wow, that's fast. Problem solved.
If you need extra cash, go to billshappen.com. That's billshappen.com. Billshappen.com.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
This is Brennan Wells, the owner of Pro Weld Fabricators. We are a Richmond-based company. We are here for all of your welding projects.
Bradley Hicks here with Pro Weld Fabricators. We bring all the right tools to your doorstep. Emergency repair? No problem. We're available 24/7. For all commercial and residential needs, you need Pro Weld Fabricators. Learn more about Pro Weld Fabricators and check out some of our awesome projects at pro-weldfabricators.com.
Pro Weld Fabricators is your number one source for any of your commercial welding needs.
Are you suffering from a sports injury, chronic pain, or something that just plain hurts? Ortho Virginia can help get you on the road to recovery. As the state's largest provider of orthopedic care, Ortho Virginia's team of specialists offers surgical and non-surgical treatment options. With 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area, visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why at Ortho Virginia, stronger starts here.
Score big with the 106.1 ESPN app. Listen live anywhere. Crystal clear coverage, breaking news, and Richmond's rowdiest sports debates. Tap in and turn it up.
Week 2 has passed, except for the 2 games tonight. It's time for some overreactions.
I'm ready.
Overreaction Monday is here, folks. Number 1, Joe Burrow is a one-hit wonder. Look, he's a great QB. He's a great QB. One of the top 5. He's better than Jalen Hurts. All right, let me stop. That's not the point of this take. He's injury prone. He got the ACL his rookie year. He got the wrist injury a couple of years ago. Now he has this, which could effectively shut him down for the season. I mean, he's out a minimum 3 months. If they're not in a playoff race at the end of the season, there's no reason to rush him back. Heck, I would argue his long-term health is more important with that toe than rushing him back, even if they are in the middle of a playoff series or a playoff run. This is now 3 times in his young career where he has had his season cut short due to an injury. He's officially injury prone. And I don't think it's because of anything that his body is. Like, I don't think he's an injury prone person because he's got feeble bones or something like that. He's injury prone because the Bengals have failed him time and time and time and time and time again. This draft, you go out and you get Shamar Stewart because Trey Hendrickson doesn't want to play for you anymore. You should have bolstered the offensive line. With the Jamar Chase draft, me and Alan are still in the same boat. You should have drafted Penei Sewell, one of the best tackles in the NFL, over Jamar Chase. It's really cool, and you got to the Super Bowl with Jamar Chase with your flashy new toy, but overall, your offensive line has failed Joe Burrow so many times in his already young career being just hammered. And we've seen what happens to young quarterbacks who get hit too much early on in their career. Andrew Luck retired, and the Colts have been reeling as a franchise ever since. Maybe they found their answer with Daniel Jones. Who the heck knows? But Joe Burrow is a one-hit wonder. If he ever wants to taste success again, he's got to pull a Carson Palmer, retire, and then get his way traded to the Raiders or something. That's the only way he's ever going to taste success.
Oh, man, that was I did not see that coming. You want him to fake retirement? And wow.
That's the only way he won't be remembered as a what if.
Like 65-70% of their cap is tied up into him and Chase, man. He can't go. He's being held hostage.
Look, it's just get your way out of there, man.
That's great.
You've got there's nothing around. Yeah.
You help segue into mine. Daniel Jones is this season's Sam Darnold. ESPN.com said it better than me, but it was my idea first, darn it. But yeah, Daniel Jones, man, we talked about this before the season started. I'm not going to act like I was like, oh, this is going to be a great experiment, but I did say, give it a chance, right? From a scheme standpoint, give it a chance because he's been pretty solid in RPO based like offensive calls.
Yeah.
Like I don't think they have a real big RPO system when he was in New York, but the times when they would run RPO concepts, he was really efficient.
Yeah.
And it looks like Shane Steichen has kind of unlocked some things. And we saw it with Sam Darnold. We saw it with Geno Smith. We saw it with Baker Mayfield. When you give a quarterback a little bit of love and stability, you give him a happy home. Sometimes the problem child is actually your favorite kid. He's good, right? So we've been 2 games in. It's been an amazing 2 games. I remember last year the Saints had a really good 2-game run.
We thought the Saints were Super Bowl winners.
Yeah, they had a really good 2-game run with their offense. But if you didn't notice what he did to the Broncos, which is a really good defense, you got to give him credit. Hats off to them, and hopefully it continues.
Shout out that late flag, too, that helped the Colts win the game. Did you see that?
Yeah, did I? It's funny that we mentioned this, and this is why I tell you, I'm not a biased person when it comes to betting and analysis. I had the Broncos yesterday. I had the Broncos -1 of all things, straight up money line, whatever you want to call it. It was a 1-point spread, but I had the Broncos. I was in Dave & Buster's with my kids watching the game on my phone for that one kick because I looked at the score. It was like 3 seconds left. I was like, all right, they're going for the kick. I need to watch it. I was so excited. I'm so glad that they have all that noise in there because I was cheering. And then because I can't hear, I was like, why is the game not ending? And then that yellow thing that said flag came up. And I was like, are you kidding me?
In case anyone missed the end of the Colts-Broncos game, the Colts drive it. It's like a 50-plus yard field goal, really tough, and the kicker misses it.
Yeah.
And time expires. But then there's a yellow flag on the field, and they called a very seldom called penalty, leverage.
Yeah.
They held down, the Broncos held down the Colts long snapper so another Bronco could try to jump over him so he could block the kick. They did it, but unfortunately it was seen and the flag was called. 15-yard penalty, put him very much into field goal range. And on the second attempt, the Colts kicker banged it through. And now on the season, the Colts are the first team in NFL history to start a season by scoring on each of their first 10 possessions. And overall, the Colts are the first team in the Super Bowl era that has not punted in their first 2 games.
Who needs a punt? Peyton Manning is somewhere just grinning ear to ear, man. Pat McAfee's probably going through some things, but Peyton Manning's extremely happy with this.
Peyton Manning's loving it. But
hey, and shout out to the new ownership with Irsay's daughter. I know people were ragging on her for having on the comms and writing down notes and stuff. I love it, man. I love an invested owner that's staying out the way but wants to know because the
as
football
long as you're not Jerry.
Yeah, the football minded owners are the best owners. And
look at Jeffrey Lurie.
Yeah, he's football minded, and he found a GM that's football minded. They're in sync. Boom. Lurie only reacts when he needs to. I think he was pivotal in changing the coordinators.
He was the one that hired.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and Kellen
but
Moore.
Outside of that, he's just letting it fly autopilot.
Well, what did they do after he hired the coordinators?
Yeah, so again, it helps to have that synchrony right there, of synergy. So
and Colts are legit.
Synchrony. Wow.
All right.
It is Monday.
Yeah, it is. You ready for this next one?
All right, let's go.
Chiefs will miss the playoffs with a sub 500 record.
Ouch.
Yeah. look, I didn't think it was that much of an overreaction to say that they're going to miss the playoffs, but I thought the real overreaction was that they'd have a sub 500 record.
I'm like 2 weeks away from apologizing to you for saying you were crazy for the Chargers take.
Hey, if they get a big win tonight over the Raiders,
I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, and then we'd be 2-0.
Yeah,
my Chargers,
they'll be 2-0, but I would expect
with a win over the Chiefs.
I will expect at some point they'll go to Denver and lose to Denver. So it's going to get dicey. It's going to get dicey.
The other part of that was I was going to say the Chiefs weren't going to do all that well, and so far so good. 0-2 for the first time in Mahomes' career. The book has been closed on Chiefs dynasty number 1. There's still time for them to open up the book and have Chiefs dynasty number 2, but the offense has looked bad. Like, the offense has been mediocre to bad to start this season. And we were talking about it earlier. When you have Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt taking the majority of your carries in 2025, that doesn't bode well for the success of your overall offense. When you've got your wide receivers looking like Juju Smith-Schuster, Hollywood Brown, and a 40-year-old Travis Kelce, I think he's 37, an old Travis Kelce, those are your options for Patrick Mahomes. He has had to be superhero in each of these first 2 games to start the season. And when he doesn't have a good supporting cast, his offensive line isn't giving him any help. He results in being an quarterback. He ranks 15th in the NFL in adjusted EPA per play. So on a per play basis, he's just about league average in terms of helping his team win. And he's 24th in success rate. That is not good. That is one of the lowest marks he's ever had in his career. He's only having a successful play on 45.5% of his dropbacks, which I've explained it before. Success rate, are you doing what is needed to stay ahead of the sticks? And he's only doing that, 4.5 times out of 10. Like that's just not going to get it done. And when your best receiver is Hollywood Brown, does not spark joy, does not spark faith in me, the Chiefs are going to miss the playoffs, and they are going to have a sub 500 record. You mentioned it. They did not progress at all this offseason. If anything, they regressed. And this is a Chiefs team that a year ago went 10-0 in games decided by 7 points. To start 2025, they are now 0-2. That is not a sticky stat. In games decided by 7 points, if you're 10-0 one year, odds are you're going to regress to the mean that next year and maybe go 5-5 or 4-6 or even worse. And now they're 0-2 to start this year in games decided by 7 points or less. Does not bode well for the Chiefs this season. And I don't think it's a Mahomes problem. I think it's a offensive personnel problem.
I'm going to get disrespectful with this one. I'm intending to be disrespectful. Ben Johnson is the new age Norv Turner. He can't coach as a head coach. He's an offensive coordinator. Woo. He's a great play caller, but he can't head coach. You know how I know he can't head coach? Because he was playing his former team with his former quarterback and all his former weapons. And they just came off a game last week where even on Raising Hell, I was like, well, the only thing the Lions really didn't do was put the ball in the end zone. That's what ultimately hurt them against the Packers. You know this team. These are your guys. This is like me going up against my child, right? I know him. I raised him. I taught him everything he knows. There is no way you get 52 on me, man. And not only did they get 52, everybody but Laporta, all the weapons just absolutely styled on the Bears. Absolutely styled on the Bears. A message was sent. If you think that Ben Johnson made the Lions, you're wrong. He was a big part of it. He's great for the organization. He's done a lot for this team in Jared Goff's career. But if you think he's the reason why, you're wrong. And I got 52 reasons why you're wrong. That was personal. That was a message sent to everybody who's been detracting on the Lions. Gibbs had 94 yards.
Hand up.
Jared Goff, the robot, he's back. He's got his upgrade. He was efficient. He was great. The receivers were getting off. And the Bears stink.
The Bears.
Caleb Williams stinks. And it's probably going to be pretty much his last run in this organization this year. It's just not going to work. But Ben Johnson, throughout his entire career as a head coach, will never take blame. He will never figure it out. He is the problem. Coaching as a head coach is totally different than coordinating. There are some fundamental flaws in the Bears, and this game showed it. The game plan was awful. How do you let this team score 52?
Yes,
How?
It was embarrassing.
Do you not know the personnel? You made the personnel, apparently.
You were the reason why. And like Dan Campbell set out, and Dan Campbell said, like I'm a former tight end. I had just as much of a hand in that offensive
That's
game
what I
plan
said. I was
like he was the run game coordinator.
He fired Anthony Lynn.
And he was the calling plays, and that kind of, and they had success once they fired Anthony Lynn, and that was the start of the Lions turning the corner.
The creativity was Ben.
And then he promoted Ben, and then Ben and Campbell worked together, and Ben Johnson has a crazy mind. Like, right, he is a wildly innovative offensive coordinator with these crazy plays. We're throwing it to Penei Sewell. We're doing all of this trickery. Ben Johnson's a great offensive mind. But to say that Dan Campbell is just a meathead and Dan Campbell is just a figurehead in the Lions organization and it was all Ben Johnson, that is just a fundamental misunderstanding of how Dan Campbell is as a coach.
Yeah.
Like, Dan Campbell is a darn good football coach. He's done one of the best jobs in rebuilding an organization in the history of the NFL. He took over the lowly Lions and have them as a consistent NFC North, NFC championship caliber team. He's a great coach, and he showed it. He showed it on Sunday. He flexed on Ben Johnson 52 times.
Yeah, he knows his personnel.
KYP.
And so I just had to get that off my chest. I wasn't a big Ben Johnson fan based on how he treated the interview process with the Commanders. I thought
with a lot of different teams.
Yeah.
He was just kind of rude.
I thought they dodged the bullet. You got an OC acting like that, man. I don't even want him as part of my organization. So New Age North Turner loading.
That segues really nicely into my last overreaction, and you touched on it. Caleb Williams is going to be benched this year. Caleb Williams is going to be benched because he's not doing what he needs to do.
I can't defend my guy anymore.
We know Ben Johnson's got an ego to him. Ben Johnson will never accept failure, and Ben Johnson is a perfectionist. Caleb Johnson. I keep doing that. I'm thinking of the Steelers return man who forgot that he has to pick up a ball.
Oh my God, he's about to get cut.
Hey, let's go Seahawks, baby.
No,
let's capitalize on that.
That was awful.
Not to go on a complete tangent here, but I was doing JV football at Verina, doing PA for him the other night, and opening kickoff falls at the feet of the return kids, and they didn't pick it up. And I was like, I would never see that in the NFL. And then that weekend, I was like, oh, wow, this yikes.
What is going on?
I was like, guys, you got to pick up a football. Pick it up. It's a kickoff. But Caleb Williams won't make it through the season. Ben Johnson is too demanding. Ben Johnson is too much a perfectionist. Caleb will be benched at some point this season. And there were reports of veterans wanting him benched last season. Veterans like DJ Moore did not like the fact that he was unable to run an NFL offense last season. He's not able to execute motions when necessary. We saw that in week 1 as well. And with all of that in the back of our mind, his poor play to start this year does not seem like him and Ben Johnson are on the same page. The entire preseason, it felt like they were in different chapters, not even in the same book even. And I think Ben Johnson in the next month is going to bench Caleb Williams because he's just going to be tired of the improv, the jazz musician that Caleb Williams is. And Ben Johnson wants you to be on his rhythm, on his time, and he does not accept any freewheeling it.
I guess this one's also a little personal. The Cowboys don't need Micah Parsons. They just need a kicker. There's your overreaction.
It goes into Bruce's overreaction. He said, what in the world? What are these field goal distances now? Look, you're right. All you got to do if you're the Cowboys, get it to the 50-yard line and you get 6 points.
Well, I have a theory on that, though. It's similar to what we saw in baseball with launch angle.
Yeah.
Like, so guys can hit for power, but they can't make contact. Kickers can kick for power and distance, but you get them within that 35, 40-yard range, and it's like, what do I do? Like, seriously, like, there are so many, like, chip shots missed.
That are Jake Moody?
Yeah, but you can make a 65-yarder or 50 plus is nothing now.
It's like you can drive 400 yards, but when you get near the green, you just completely lose it. Like,
so,
lose the finesse.
Shout out to the guys who are cool with kicking from the 45-yard line.
Brandon Aubrey is one of those.
It'll never be me. We're going for it.
Oh my goodness!
Sit on the bench.
He said 50 yards, easy. I'll kick this 65.
Well, for the win or the tie, that's different. Yeah. But I'm talking about if it's first, second quarter, bro. You miss me with that. I'm not kicking.
Well, yeah, to go overtime and then defense gets an interception.
If you want to fire me. I'm not. My friend blames me every day for the advanced analytics that's applied to the NFL, and I'm like, no, you're dated. We're not kicking.
Yes, it is honestly more times than not, especially like early. Like actually more times than not, you should probably go for it if it's 4th and short. And analytics prove
So
that.
I'm team meathead, baby.
And look, analytics, you may think they're dumb. No, it's using so much data, more data than we can even comprehend to figure out whether or not you should do it. And odds are analytics are right. All right, let's get our last break in here. We'll step aside, be back to wrap up this Monday edition of Fitz the Bill on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your boat wins.
What are you going to do? Take the boat out for a spin or go mail something? Are we cleaning the patio or taking the boat out fishing? Are we skipping that eye exam to go sailing?
Rescheduling eye exams can be a nightmare.
All right, fine. Eye exam, then boat.
With Progressive, you can bundle your boat with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings on your boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender. It does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, everything is so expensive, and our bills are piling up.
You're telling me credit cards are maxed out, rent is due, and the car payment's right around the corner? We need some extra cash.
We should do what my friend from work did. She went to billshappen.com and got the money she needed the next day.
Our credit is not great. Are you sure that would work for us?
Bills Happen is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
Sounds like it's going to be a hassle.
My friend said it was super easy. She did it right from her phone during her lunch break.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. BillsHappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Guess what? I went to billshappen.com, and we're getting our money tomorrow.
Wow, that's fast. Problem solved.
If you need extra cash, go to billshappen.com. That's billshappen.com. Billshappen.com.
This is Brennan Wells, the owner of Pro Weld Fabricators. We are a Richmond-based company. We are here for all of your welding projects.
Bradley Hicks here with Pro Weld Fabricators. We bring all the right tools to your doorstep. Emergency repair? No problem. We're available 24/7. For all commercial and residential needs, you need Pro Weld Fabricators. Learn more about Pro Weld Fabricators and check out some of our awesome projects at pro-weldfabricators.com.
Pro Weld Fabricators is your number one source for any of your commercial welding needs.
Horse racing is back, and it's time to get ready for another Triple Crown season. Get the latest from the industry every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 with Off to the Races on 106.1 ESPN, presented by The Racing Biz. Nick Hahn and Frank Vespi bring you their insight and knowledge, talking with the people making the headlines, including jockeys, trainers, and owners. Plus, get the expert picks each week, including a visit by Derby Bill Watson. It's Off to the Races each Saturday morning at 10 on 106.1 ESPN, streaming live on the iHeartRadio app. From Richmond and beyond, Border to Border with Matt Josephs on 106.1 ESPN breaks down Virginia sports like nobody else. Bold opinions, zero sugarcoating. Tune in.
What if I told you that 12% of the Eagles snaps yesterday were tush pushes?
All right, I would admit that's excessive.
That's what it was.
Excessive.
Sorry, it wasn't 12%. I lied to you. It was 11.7%. I did a little rounding.
Well, look, that is a bit excessive.
A bit.
But hey, if it works, it works.
If it works, it works. And if it's not banned, it's not banned. Keep doing it. I get it. But look, it's got to be officiated better. It's got to be defended better too. I mean, you have so much. Figure out how to stop the dang play.
You know, if I recall, when the Wildcat first hit the scene, it was cool, but it was an illegal formation, and then they started enforcing it, and they made an adjustment, and it became a legal formation, and then nobody complained about it. If there's some nuance of the tush push that is by definition illegal, like if they're lining up,
I mean, they line up off sides.
Yeah, if that's the case, then just NFL adjust it. You don't have to ban the play; just make them line up one side and let it go. I mean, folks complained that it was a rugby-based play for American football. I mean, the nuances are there, man. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, just figure it out and just officiate it better. One thing we didn't touch on today, but I want to get in here before we leave. Are we hitting the panic button on Arch Manning yet? Bro, he went 11 of 25, 114 yards, one touchdown, one interception.
Button. Sir, We hit the panic button on Arch week 1. Everything else now is just validating what we've already said.
Combined 165 yards of total offense between his passing and rushing. He did rush for 2 touchdowns, so combined for 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, a QBR of 26.5, which is bad, which is very bad.
Arch Manning, the only Manning not attending Manning camp, apparently. Seriously, he's terrible, man.
The only Manning not invited to Manning Passing Academy.
I told you he's adopted. There's no way.
They'd rather he got more of his mom genes than a Manning gene.
Yeah, there's no way he's a Manning.
They said he's athletic. Yeah, he might be athletic. Stop having him throw a football.
Jeez, man.
He didn't get any of the Archie, Peyton, or Eli genes. He does not know how to throw a football.
I can't believe it. Honestly, I really don't believe what I'm seeing when he drops back.
I thought there was too much hype around him. And we both were saying that on the show all offseason. There's too much hype around Arch Manning. I never in a million years would have thought he would be this bad.
If Florida beats them, oh my God.
If Florida beats them, it's going to be a I don't know what to think if Florida beats them.
If Florida beats them, I get my under because there's no way he's beating Georgia.
No.
So I'm going to get my under, but dude, man, you're really bad. And God, Sarkisian,
Dude, you're really bad.
Sarkisian keeps saying all these corny coaching cliche things like you haven't lived until the people boo you.
And
What?
they're still 8th in the country. I cannot watch Texas and think that they are even a top 25 team in the country.
I've never seen a Texas quarterback get booed by the fans at home.
One with a Manning last name.
Playing a team like Utah, maybe playing Oklahoma.
If he does not throw for 300 yards against Sam Houston, then you got to seriously consider benching him going into Florida.
He could throw for 300 yards, but if that percentage is still under 50%,
Yeah, that's true.
And the simple thing, it's the simple things. It's the 5-yard hitch, man. Why can't you complete that? Your last name is Manning.
I had to hit that before we got up on out of here because I saw that box score over the weekend. I'll be honest, I wasn't watching the Texas UTEP game. I thought it would be not that interesting. And the only interesting thing that came out of it was the fact that Arch Manning may be bad. He might be
not a
horrible.
man. He is bad.
He might be horrible. He might be benchable.
The saying should be he may get better because he is bad. There's no may. He is bad.
It's rough. All right, coming up today, we've got a great day ahead right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. We are where Richmond talks sports, and it keeps on going with Clinton and Friends from 10 until noon. The Rich Eisen Show from noon until 3, and then we come back here live from the Ortho Virginia studios in the capital of the Commonwealth with Border to Border with Matt Josephs from 3 to 4, the Mashup Hour from 4 until 5 with Matt and Bob Black, and then Bob takes you on home with the Sports Huddle, loaded live and local, coming to you right here from the Ortho Virginia studios in the capital of the Commonwealth. We'll be back tomorrow. David Cunningham from Tech Sideline will join us in hour number 2 tomorrow to try and make sense of everything that's happening over there in Blacksburg with Virginia Tech. And Lake Lewis, our Raise and Hail Commanders insider, will join us live in studio in hour number 1. We'll chat about the upcoming game this weekend, as well as Jaden Daniels' injury status after he received an MRI on Friday. So we'll get the latest around all of that tomorrow. Same time, same place. We'll talk then. Fitz the Bill.
From the ESPN studio, presented by Ortho Virginia. Find one of Ortho Virginia's orthopedic locations at orthovirginia.com. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURB HD2 Richmond. We are